Life often keeps us trapped in a cycle of unconscious repetition. Most people go through their days unaware of how much their actions, thoughts, and emotions are shaped by hidden forces, those that reside deep within the unconscious mind. Bringing the unconscious into awareness is like lighting a candle in a dark room, revealing both the beauty and the challenges we've avoided seeing. It's a crucial step for anyone who truly seeks self-understanding and the ability to transcend invisible limitations. There are concepts that, when integrated, can radically transform how we perceive who we are and what we're capable of becoming. Imagine discovering that the real obstacle to your fulfillment isn't external but buried within the deepest layers of your mind. This journey is an opportunity to uncover those forgotten parts of yourself, not just to accept them but to transform them into personal power. It's not merely a change in behavior, it's a quiet revolution that begins within and echoes through every area of life. The concept of the shadow. The shadow, as defined by Carl Jung, consists of all the parts of ourselves that we'd rather not show to the world, or even to ourselves. It reflects the aspects we repress, shaped by both internal and societal judgment. But the shadow isn't just a place of darkness, it holds forgotten potential, waiting to be integrated. Exploring it forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Ignoring the shadow is like fighting a mirror that shows us who we really are. Within the psyche, four fundamental archetypes emerge: the persona, the anima/animus, the shadow, and the hero. Each one represents an essential part of the human experience. The persona is the mask we wear in front of others. The anima and animus reveal our inner feminine or masculine sides. The shadow hides the aspects we fear, while the hero symbolizes our potential for transformation. Integrating these archetypes, especially the shadow, is like deciphering a lost map of the soul, helping us access strengths we never knew we had. The importance of the shadow. The shadow holds the repressed parts of our being, and ignoring it is like keeping a treasure chest locked, full of pieces that complete the puzzle of our identity. Without integrating the shadow, we risk projecting our insecurities and frustrations onto others, living in conflict with the things we refuse to acknowledge in ourselves. True personal growth begins when we find the courage to recognize and embrace this hidden side, realizing that what we once saw as weakness is actually a dormant source of strength and self-awareness. Integrating the shadow isn't just a challenge, it's essential for anyone who wants to live a fulfilling life. By confronting these repressed parts, we gain access to inner resources and abilities that were previously out of reach. Denying the shadow keeps us fragmented, embracing it sets us on the path to our highest potential. Every encounter with it prepares us for moments of growth, making it possible to awaken a more authentic and empowered version of ourselves, the version we were always meant to become. Understanding the mind. The mind is like a vast ocean divided into layers. The conscious mind is the visible surface, where we navigate through daily thoughts. The subconscious lies just beneath, storing memories and automatic habits, and the deep unconscious conceals ancestral truths and primal impulses. It is within this invisible realm that the essence of who we are resides, silently influencing every decision, often without our awareness. Understanding these levels is the first step toward gaining true inner autonomy. Beyond the personal unconscious, Carl Jung described the collective unconscious, a matrix of symbols and archetypes shared by all of humanity. These elements shape our emotions and reactions in ways that often feel inexplicable. When we connect with this larger unconscious, we transcend the personal and tap into universal truths. Exploring these mental layers is not just an act of self-knowledge, it's a way of awakening to the invisible web that connects us to everything that has been and everything that will be. Identity and change. Identity shifting is more than just changing behaviors, it's a profound transformation in how we perceive ourselves at our core. Every identity we adopt defines not only what we do but also what we believe is possible for us. The key to meaningful change lies in the ability to look beyond our current persona and consciously choose a new version of ourselves, turning this transition into a bridge toward the life we want to experience. There's a powerful connection between being, doing, and having. Most people try to achieve something first, hoping it will lead to personal transformation. But true change happens when we shift who we are before taking action. When our identity aligns with new goals, actions become effortless, and results follow naturally. Life stops being a constant struggle and becomes an authentic expression of who we allow ourselves to be in each moment. The search for the true self. The journey toward the true self is often a quiet struggle against societal expectations and the masks we've learned to wear. From an early age, we are shaped by patterns that tell us who we should be and how we should act, creating a gap between who we are and who we appear to be. Rediscovering our authenticity is like coming home after years of wandering, a reunion with the essence that has always been there, waiting to be recognized. When we align with our authentic selves, personal fulfillment becomes a natural outcome. It's not about achieving some idealized perfection but about embracing ourselves fully, with all the nuances and imperfections that make us human. Being authentic is an act of courage in a world that constantly pushes us to conform. In this space of self-acceptance, we find the freedom to live according to our truth, creating a life that resonates with who we truly are. The need for vulnerability. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but in reality, it's a gateway to genuine connections and personal growth. Allowing yourself to be vulnerable is like opening a window to your inner world, giving others a glimpse not only of your achievements but also of your scars. Through this openness, we create space for love and understanding to flourish, because it's not in perfection that we connect, but in sharing our imperfections. Shame and guilt often block vulnerability, building walls that distance us from others and from ourselves. However, guilt is tied to what we've done, while shame affects how we perceive who we are. Learning to separate these two emotions allows us to rewrite our internal narrative and embrace vulnerability as an act of strength. It's through confronting the fear of being seen for who we are that we unlock the power of becoming whole, building relationships rooted in honesty and affection. Exercises for releasing the shadow. A powerful exercise for releasing the shadow is creating a shadow document, an introspective practice where we write down the traits, thoughts, and behaviors we tend to hide or ignore. This document isn't a confession but an honest exploration of the parts we repress. By putting these shadows into words, we begin to demystify them, realizing that they're not enemies but neglected parts of ourselves longing to be understood and integrated. Identifying recurring patterns and attitudes within the shadow is like mapping unexplored terrain. Through this practice, we uncover the roots of insecurities, emotional dependencies, and automatic reactions that sabotage our potential. Gaining this clarity prepares us for conscious integration, making room for authentic transformation. As we recognize each hidden fragment, we start reclaiming the fullness of who we are, turning what once felt burdensome into wisdom. Acceptance and empathy. Accepting the shadow is like turning on a light in a forgotten room. At first, what we see might make us uncomfortable, but over time, we learn that everything in that space is part of us. Avoiding or denying the shadow only perpetuates the cycle of shame and rejection, while bringing it into the light sets us free. True acceptance begins when we stop fighting who we are and welcome these parts with compassion, understanding that they've been shaped by the experiences we've lived. Empathy plays a crucial role in this process. When we treat our own shadows with kindness, we develop deeper empathy for others, recognizing that everyone carries their own internal struggles. This empathetic connection allows us to reach out and support others in their journey toward integration, rather than passing judgment. Integrating the shadow isn't just a personal act, it's a movement that reverberates through our relationships, building bridges of mutual understanding and acceptance. Observation and action. Observing the shadow is like standing at the edge of an abyss, staring into the depths of your mind. Identifying repetitive patterns and hidden traits is an ongoing practice that requires patience and a non-judgmental perspective. By recognizing these aspects, we avoid the trap of self-defense, where we justify harmful behaviors. Conscious observation allows us to see the shadow for what it truly is, a part of ourselves seeking expression and acceptance. Transformation occurs when observation is paired with action. Recognizing the shadow is only the first step. We need to act differently to break old cycles. Instead of reacting defensively, we can choose a conscious response that promotes growth and integration. Each small, intentional action is a reminder that we are not prisoners of the past, we are active agents in our own evolution. Through this process, we discover that true freedom lies in choosing who we want to be in every moment. The journey of integrating the shadow is not one with shortcuts, but it is filled with transformative discoveries. Along the way, we begin to understand that the shadow, once feared, is actually a silent ally, waiting for the right moment to teach us who we truly are. Every lesson learned expands our awareness and brings us closer to a fuller version of ourselves. Integrating the shadow is not only an act of courage, it's an internal revolution, a conscious choice to live more authentically and connected to our true nature. Now, the question is, what will you do with all this knowledge? Are you ready to face your own shadow and transform the parts of yourself you've avoided? Change doesn't just happen in your mind, it shows up in your daily actions, in how you treat yourself and others. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep exploring this inner universe and learn how to use your personal power consciously. This journey isn't over, it's just getting started.